demonic angel while I'm here filming my impressions of the city jail. I recently got a gift from my longtime friend. I mean, we've been friends since junior high, doing drama together, and in high school I was even the lead role. So for my class, she was a year ahead of me, but it was like the drama kids together, right? Too small a school to split it up into different grades. So I went in to get a role because the role was for actually, I think it was called the Sins of the Mothers. So it's really dark play about this mom was like an alcoholic, and eventually she just gets so, she just deteriorates so much physically, mentally, everything, that one of her daughters decides to smother her. It's like she's like 90 years old, like a, decrepit old crone. So, at some point you have to do the death screams and whatever. So I thought I stayed up for a long time that night at high school, back in high school, and I thought about what would it really be like to have that experience. So I went into class the next day to do the audition, and I just, right before I went to do it, I was like, this is exactly, I emotionally channeled it. And I literally started crying actual tears and just wailing, dropped to my knees. Not just to be over dramatic, but to nail the actual, like, the agony, and like maybe a little bit like slow, like an old person. And the teacher was like, you got the part on the spot. So I haven't really been super associated with stuff like that. But man, that was a lot of fun for me when I was younger. Of course, life is one big adventure, so maybe that'll be something I'll look into at some point. But, great friends that go way, way back, and over the last 2 or 3 years, she sends me gifts every year. I'm talking like fancy dresses, makeup. Like she and her mother make homemade soaps and some other stuff like perfumes, herbal, other hippie stuff. And she sends me stuff, every once in a while. And a really nice really cool gothic-looking necklaces and earrings. I mean, you name it. Rock stuff, rings. She's basically like a 1 in a million friend. I can't really believe that. And she spoils me, and I'll tell her not to, but she doesn't really listen. So she subscribes to my channel even. She has vastly, different beliefs than me, but honestly, we're really weird. We were just, a lot of trouble, I would say, back in the day, in positive, negative ways. Like, we did bond over, I think, we had some of the same emotional issues, but like at the same time we were really weird. It still are. Like, it's like, I guess, being weird, just unless it's like a phase for you, it's not just gonna go away. So I think that we both really grew into being, owning our strangeness as we both, growing years and years apart like that. But just been really kind of open, and I think also, really healed and everything. So anyway, one of the most beautiful friendships, honestly, that I will ever have the privilege to honestly have. So she does send me some stuff. Some of it's more like, I've gotten some retro postcards of pinup girls, I think I've got one of Marilyn Monroe, but this is a, it says here on the back. So it's a 1943, a World War II film. I Walked with a Zombie. And I have seen it because I do like stuff like that. I even like Alfred Hitchcock. Some of the even black and white movies where they don't even talk. You know, it just really depends. It's kind of a mood. But, you know, I love that retro kind of stuff. And then she, you know, back in the day, because, I mean, you know, that's, like back in the day when we were in school, you used to write notes and, you know, had to pass them behind your back during class and she would, you know, fold them up, fold her notes up really pretty. And I would wad mine up in a ball and throw it or whatever, crumple it, pass it. So, you know, postcards, it's like this old school, you know, thing. And, you know, I'll read it to you guys. Besides this outfit, so she sent me like a really cute blouse. This is a collection of what I feel are haunted items. And I are obsessed with Ghost Adventures. So the board game is just a fun time. But I really enjoy you. Your YouTube channel and hope you're always creative in some way or another. We are moving out of the country, and I will, you know, kind of just save the details there. And so I'll have to send you postcards. Love and miss you, and she signed, you know, her name. So I really enjoy that. That brings out the nostalgia. I send stuff to her every once in a while. I really need, you know, especially whatever. I need to, you know what, I think that pretty soon I was going to acquire something that I want to send her. Anyway, before I go on and on and on and on and on forever. That's a postcard, okay? So the game, I've never heard of it. I do like a lot of paranormal shows, especially when I was younger. I liked cheesy stuff. I, you know, saw my fair share of Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters. And this is the game she sent me. It's completely intact, but it's the Cleansing of Killian House. And really a beautiful game. If anybody's ever played it, please tell me how it is. But it's like you got cards here, and it's what does it say? Oh, it says Nick Groff from Ghost Adventures. So I don't know if that just means he just, you know, made the game or whatever. But oh, this is really cool looking. Comes with the game. That's really cool. I mean, I'd love to just have that as a picture. But yeah, ooh, the gothic stuff. So it's almost like I think it's like Paranormal Clue. Sounds fun, doesn't it? I'm gonna play and I'll have to review it. So I don't know. I'm just pretty much going through it with you guys real quick here, and then I'll throw this shit away. Yeah, there's little trinkets in it. Everything is completely here, and it is like a oh. What is this? It's so weird. Anything else that looks cool to show you guys? Oh, I guess, here's a little, like, skeleton sticker. It says Cleansing of Killian House. And then we have, it's like a hearse with a coffin, so it's already exciting, okay? But, yeah, I'll review the game at some point. So, she sent me 2 items. I channeled, you know, well, I mean, yeah, that whole process of opening, and I decided to, of course I have emailed her and said, hey, what's the story? She hasn't responded, she's super busy, so I'm just going to give my impressions of what I think is going on with the items. So yeah, it was just a postcard, the game. I just showed you again. It's called The Haunting of Killian House. If you've ever played it, let me know. So it's this doll thing. And these are little remnants of strands of hair. It didn't come with any clothing. You could kind of see that it's like handmade stitches, and my husband looked at this and he was like, oh, I remember seeing similar dolls. And that was like the first thought that went through my mind. I've seen the same types of dolls somewhere. But I do think that I do think that this is kind of like was used as a family magical ritual item, and that a guy, he basically attached his spirit to this, like when he was alive. So he attached himself to this, and it was kind of with the intention of being passed down. But the doll somehow ends up with somebody else that just like out of what, where he thought he was going to go. So I think it was like, it just would show up in different places for a person who had this for a while. And, eventually, I think is probably even as part of like an estate sale, something like that. This just ended up, in one of those antique shops, something like that. And I think that possibly, I mean, I think that possibly it even kind of, spooked my friend out a little bit. I don't know what her experiences are, but that's what I think. I think that it's more of like it was such a traditional folk, it's very folk magic kind of thing to do. Really kind of my vibe, and I kind of like it. So, I'm going to keep it with all my stuff and treat it with all the respect that deserves. So, trying to briefly move on here. That's okay. So, the other item, because it was, like I said, the game that I showed you, the postcard, the doll, and if anybody knows anything about those kinds of dolls, because both my husband and I think we've seen something like that. I really don't specifically recall, but yeah, I just think somebody, they put themselves into it to kind of stay around like a family, and it just ended up with somebody else for a while who, they did, they kind of thought it brought back good luck, because they would see it somewhere else and then they maybe find like $1, like something like, so it's actually really more like a good luck doll, which is really cool. I mean, it had hair at some point and it looks handmade, but yeah, if you have any further information, it's very, very old, I can tell you that. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm probably thinking 80 to 100 years old, I'm sure maybe it once had clothes, everything. So the other item was just this book, Propeller One-Way Night Coach, A Fable for All Ages, John Travolta. I've got a picture of John Travolta in the back, and just again on the side here. So I picked up the book and I was like, okay, I noticed on the outside here, got that little bit of sun damage, but it's not like it was outside in a garage or something. It's more like sat on a bookshelf or something and the sun kind of hit it, because it's not super discolored or wrinkled. And I, you know, maybe I thought this was like a book that she was sending me, but you know, I like read it again. She goes, "Oh, the book is supposed to be haunted." So, in the inside there's an inscription, and there it is. So it does say, "Bill, to my successful dreamer, ... Happy Valentine's Day of '98," with the little apostrophe. "Love ya, Linda." And you know, haunted, right? So I had to feel this out here. So what I think has happened is there was a woman, probably in like her 30s, 35, somewhere in that range, and she and this man had this beautiful friendship. I see her putting her arms around him, like when he sits at a recliner, she puts her arms around him, and she compliments him all the time, and what he thinks of her is he can't believe he's with her. He feels so lucky. It's so beautiful, their relationship. And he catches himself smiling. Maybe, you know what? I do think that they went, through similar kinds of, I don't know, coming of age issues, like being alone for a while, finding their way, and then they just completed each other's world, I think to the point where he might have been a few years older than her, but both, pretty young people. If you want to call like 40 young, which I would, because, I'm in my 30s. So, not yet, but hey, it's right around the corner. Yeah, that's a really, this beautiful kind of relationship between them. And I would see her kind of standing with in front of a desk with the book on the desk and like her purse and some other, like she's gonna go somewhere, she'd pack her items, her jacket, her whatever, different shoes. So she just puts it all together and then goes. But this was also where she would leave him notes, things, sometimes little gifts. Very, very beautiful relationship. So what he would do, he would like to watch her a lot, not in a creepy way. He just loved her. He'd like to watch her brush her hair from the couch, and he would just look at, this could have been his wife, just admiring her, just enamored with her, taken with her. And she just completed everything for him. I think they had a lot of fun experiences, even traveling together. Deep conversation. She's really beautiful looking woman. I'm kind of thinking lighter hair, lighter eyes, maybe like some brunette in the room, the roots kind of a look. But she's always got a skip in her step. Was high energy. I think she would wear those very pretty, small little gold or silver necklaces. These very tasteful, small little bracelets and rings. She's just a very beautiful, almost 90s looking, kind of a cross between a housewife and a professional woman. Like she could really pick and choose, and pull off different parts. But she's just very, very nice looking. She's got that skip in her step, that positiveness. But when I saw the plane on the back, that kind of was like that anxiety for me. I don't think she died in a plane crash, but I think I see her setting this book with, you know, where she usually left him some stuff, and then she never comes back. And he started looking in the mirrors a lot in this room, you know, where they would be together a lot, and he would see, I think he'd see her. I do think for a period of time she would talk to him and things like this, but eventually he moved. And it's not like he moved on. I think he tries so many ways to say goodbye after holding on. And then, he really does try to say goodbye. So I think he did lose his wife in some kind of accident, possibly a vehicle accident, because I see other people involved and I think being hurt. They could have possibly died years later, which is what I'm thinking of, like complications. But I kind of, it's just like there's people hurt, if not dead, besides her. And that shock of it. He tries to go on, but it's like nothing for him, you know, for a good long time. And he kind of goes, you know, eventually that because I do think he's still alive, that he has to move on and just keep living. Like, it's not about, and I do think some things have softened him. I think he's found a peace, and he'll never forget her, but he did just move. He moved on. I think that my friend might have, what I think is seeing the book open or dropping. So you set it on the desk and now it's like this, which was her way to do that. And it's just because I think in a way she's still kind of searching herself for like she's just kind of thinking, you know, it's not so much a negative thing, but more like coming to terms, you know. So that's why I have these items. I think they're both, the energy is fine with me, but I'm keeping them with my ritual stuff because I have a place for all that. If you've played this game, please let me know. And then